Good day everyone. For this video yan yung magiging solution niya. So, kapag ganyan ang given, it's either nasa loob or nasa labas ng parabola yung ating solution.